In fading light, 25 yards, Smith & Wesson M&P9. I love this gun too. I sailed that one. I love the M&P trigger. That's probably the best trigger of the three right there. The M&P. Good group. I will take that. Standing with the conditions we have. Smith & Wesson M&P9, pretty much shooting point of impact for me in my eyes. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I may have double counted here. That looks like 2. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Not too bad.
Going nowhere.
If I went for a more stable position, maybe crouching, kneeling, or barricade rest of some sort, those groups would tighten up. But for the day I'm having today, that's about probably as good as I'm going to do. The M&P9, all that's gone.
Did you finish yours?
I didn't count mine.
It's on the line. Definitely. Good shooting.
M&P9 by Nutnfancy. As promised, update time on the Smith & Wesson M&P9 pistol. November 2008. I posted the first preliminary review on this gun, tabletop style there at Impact Guns. Thank you, Impact, for hosting. I said this was an outstanding design. Not much I can add to that initial tabletop review. In fact, this is just going to be an addendum. I want to post it as a response video to that initial video. Couple corrections I'll make as I go along. In that video, I said I hoped to get some trigger time in the months and perhaps years that were to follow. And as you've seen in video form, like lots of video form, I've done just that, me and the Nutnfancy crew, with this exact gun. It's been in the project for well over a year now, well over 1,000 rounds sent down range of all sorts and descriptions against steel plates, against paper. You saw it in the Impact Guns shootout with Yoda G, Dr. Heckles there at Impact Guns Ogden. That was fun. Also Sledgehammer Trials. It's been a participant, I think, in Breaking Contact as well, that series of videos. And I will say this, let me bottom line it right off the bat. I'm going to put this gun in the same category as Glock and SIG. That's right. Everybody who follows the Nutnfancy project will know I am a huge fan of Glock and SIG auto pistols, with several others as well. No, I'm not brand or type myopic. But this, to me, after my own shooting, no, not reading anybody else's words on the pistol, although there's lots of credible information on the gun, but from my own experience, I will say it rises to that level. Bet your life reliability, this M&P9. That's just what I've seen. In my shooting, for instance, going down the Nutnfancy talking points, I may be a little bit redundant in the information. I apologize if I am. I'm trying to just hit the differences and update in this addendum video. Reliability, though, is just outstanding. In my own shooting with this gun, I did not see the gun jam once. Not once. Not in well over 1,000 rounds of different types of ammunition. I just didn't see it. Again, we're talking Glock-like, SIG-like reliability. Now, of course, someone may roll in and go, well, you know, I've seen Glocks jam, I've seen SIGs jam. Everything can jam, but you have basically a data point where you connect data points where you connect the dots, and you get high levels of reliability. Philosophy use hasn't changed from the first video, guys. It's a defensive, what I would term service pistol, one that I would carry in a holster, maybe in a chest-mounted rig, which I prefer these days, may change in the future. It's outstanding. Incidentally, this has been improved upon by Smith & Wesson, jumping to their product literature. 2010 addendum, we talked to them at the SHOT Show. This is their new Pro Series, and this is the model M&P9, product number 178035. Am I showing it to you? Yeah, that's right. What you get from that, and I'm just jumping around talking points here. Let's jump down to Ergonomics trigger. You're going to get a lighter trigger pull. 4 to 5.5 pounds is what the product literature says. You're going to get an improvement on the sights, night sights included. That's a huge bonus. The sticker price has gone up, I've noticed. Those are two big benefits of the M&P Pro series. I don't think it's a huge improvement over what we see on the table here. It's kind of like the XDM versus the XD. Some guys will say, well, should I get the XDM 3.8 or get an XD? You know, like Rob Leatham himself said, it's not a huge difference. I mean, it might be user preference. What I dig about this, though, on this particular gun is you have night sights. So you don't have to dink around and go get night sights, pay extra, get them installed. They come factory installed, which is always my preference. Speaking of the trigger, having shot it a lot now, obviously, I love the trigger on the M&P9. I don't know if I'm departing with other gun writers or reviewers, don't know, but I love it. It's a jointed trigger. I talked about that in the initial review. It's going to tag around 6.5 pounds on this particular model, and I think it's fine. It does take me a little bit of getting used to. If I transition from a SIG or a Glock or maybe an SR9 to this gun, I tend to shoot this gun earlier than I thought I would. In other words, I'm releasing the sear quicker than I would be on other pistols. It seems lighter than 6.5 pounds to me. That's why in some of the videos you may see me initially missing with the M&P9 because I'm warming up to that particular gun. Again, I'm not the fastest gun in the West, but under stress, a little medium stress, I can connect. And with this pistol, I can connect. Once I learn it and get that that mojo going, this gun rocks and rolls. Excellent job. But back to the product literature. I like the trigger, in the lighter trigger. I have a box next to this because I'd really like to evaluate it. Smith & Wesson M&P40, that's a Pro Series 5-inch barreled version. Catalog number 178032. It's got the same 4 to 5.5 pound trigger. It's got Novak fiber optic sights on it, which I love, as long as they're precise enough. Sometimes the fiber optic options seem to be a little bit more coarse than a good target grade sighting system. I like the increased sighting radius, and I like the increased velocity out of the 5-inch barrel. Same reason I like, and you have seen me run the Glock 34 and an advocate of the Glock 35 as well. It would be a cool option. Really love it. So a big plus on that, the updates, but if you find a regular Smith & Wesson M&P9, I would not hesitate to get it at all. Back to philosophy of use. Yeah, service pistol, home defense pistol. I still agree with my original assertion. A little bit too chunky, too big, too heavy for me personally to use as a concealed carry gun. Again, you may differ in that. That's cool. As long as you carry it consistently, rock on, man. Same thing I've said hundreds and hundreds of times. Weight, balance, and feel. I termed it size and weight on this one. It is heavier than the Glock 17. Back when I did my reviews in 2008, I was referencing a lot of things to the Glock 17. I've departed from that because I didn't want to be interpreted as being myopic with Glocks only, and so I've broadened my horizons, and I don't do that anymore because there's so many great pistol designs. This is one of them. It is going to be 28.2 ounces with a magazine installed. Glock 17 is around 25 ounces. So yeah, it's 3 ounces heavier. Is that a huge difference in my experience running and gunning with it? Honestly, as long as my loadout's like a level 2 or so, not really noticeable. You know, if I go to a level 4 loadout and then I'm really loading up a lot of gear, then I'm going to look at every ounce heavily, and then maybe I would opt for a Glock that's, you know, 3 ounces lighter, which is about equivalent to a lightweight tactical blade. Very lightweight, I would say. The balance is excellent. The feel is excellent. Jumping on perhaps to ergonomics. You have the 3 interchangeable back straps in the back. I said that in my other review. I just left the one on it and it worked just fine. I'm talking the medium-sized one. It just feels good. I still love that very low bore axis. Love that. Love the scallop slide serrations. You know, like I said, you got the accessory rail. They get the slide release. It's very low profile. And lefties, I haven't forgot about you. It's on that side as well. And it's low profile. It doesn't stick out from the slide. It doesn't increase the overall width. Outstanding job. On to the low profile sights. Excellent. They're low profile, like I just said. They don't snag and they're tough, and it's a nice sight picture. I love it. No problems there. And they've pushed them out about as far as they can on the slide, giving you the longest sight radius possible. Balance is excellent. Love it. It feels good in hand. I think you'll hear a lot of Smith & Wesson M&P owners say the same thing. Firepower, adequate. Anything around 15, 16 rounds or more is adequate to me, and nothing's changed here. Even the Pro Series is still wearing the 17+1 capacity. That's a 9mm. If you go with a 40, it's going to be 15 rounds. 45 M&P is 10 rounds, I believe. Anything over 15 rounds, I'll just term adequate. How about accuracy? Well, it was an interesting exercise, don't you think, there at Impact Guns when we ran this against CZ75 SP01 Phantom. I don't have all those paper targets here. Let me roll some in there for you. Photo version. Overall, very impressed with the accuracy of the M&P9. I did shoot it at 25 yards before I get to the impact target. Out in the cold, snowy desert, standing, and actually I was pretty darn amazed what I was able to achieve with the M&P9. I don't think I'm the best 25-yard standing shooter. The target you're looking at is fully unsupported, standing after a long day of running and gunning, and that's what this gun was able to achieve. I shot it against an XD, also a Glock 17, and I believe, if memory serves, I got my best score was with the M&P9 that particular afternoon, as the sun was falling and it was, you know, night was coming. So pretty darn good. I mean, I think it's easily capable of a 3-inch, maybe a 2.5-inch group at 25 yards. No problem. From a rest in capable hands. Here we go. Impact Guns. This is about 10 yards, M&P9. This is the one where I edged out Yoda G with. Remember? I just barely snuck it into the credit card profile there in the head. Wasted that guy. Yeah. M&P9. And that was, I think, semi-rapid fire. You can look that video up. I'll try to annotate it. That sure was fun. We'll do more of that in the future probably. And there's 5 rounds center of mass. Actually, yeah, that's 5 rounds. So 5 and 5. Very capable gun. It's as accurate as a SIG, as accurate as a Glock, as accurate as any other quality-made semi-automatic pistol. Just superb. Okay, in my original video, I screwed up and I didn't tell you what the proper name of that was. Safety checks, of course. That's actually your takedown tool. You rotate it a quarter turn and then you just pull it out. And I gotta be honest with you, I think it's a little bit hokey what its purpose is. Its purpose is so you do not have to pull the trigger during takedown, which I think is stupid. I know some guys have real heartburn with pulling a trigger of a Glock to take it down. I think if you do what I just did, a good safety check, point it in a safe direction, you just won't have a problem. But let's just, by way of weight, Smith & Wesson and 10s, we'll go ahead and take this takedown lever. We'll pull up that sear deactivation lever the way they want us to. You can see it protruding there in the magazine well. Once you've done that, then you do not have to pull the trigger for takedown. Cool, huh? Whatever, you know, cool, not cool. I think it's kind of hokey. Then you rotate your takedown lever, retract, and on you go. Simple. There's your steel that the slide rides on. Nice and big, and probably contributing to the accuracy the gun's capable of. I haven't cleaned this since I've been shooting it. And some guys will really like that. The steel recoil rod, I don't really care. I think Glock has worked fine over the years. But go ahead, you know, and actually in some ways it might be good because it's putting a little bit more weight towards the muzzle for, you know, recoil control. I won't take the barrel out here. And it's just like any other type of, freaking screw that up, there we go. It's just like any other Glock or SIG as far as takedown. I love it when they have a takedown lever like that. That's very SIG-like. Very simple to do it. Incidentally, to put it back together, make sure I don't screw this up. Come back here, rotate the lever, and if I'm not mistaken, you won't be able to pull the trigger yet. You actually have to insert the magazine to reset that sear lever, and then again, safety check, safe direction, function check, you're good. There's takedown, or field strip. Excellent. Do you need to go farther than that? I don't think so, unless you have some problems. And in that case, I just send it back to Smith & Wesson. And then you can put your takedown tool back. I forgot to do that. And one thing I did notice about the takedown tool, which I like, one thing I don't like about USP pistols is you can pinch the fat of your hand with the magazine. I don't notice that with M&P, and I've shot it a lot. Not once during a magazine change have I smacked it home and said, ouch, you know. I've done that a lot on USPs. You know, I don't know. That maybe it's just my hand. Hand size has a lot to do with that. Accessories. One reason this tactical vest is here, this is a tru-spec tactical vest, is to show you one of the accessories, and they are available. As the gun has gained in popularity, God, this is just impossible to do. Let me just remove it. And what I'm trying to show you is this, the Serpa holster. And you've seen me run that in the desert, haven't you? A lot. But yeah, made for the Smith & Wesson M&P9. All successful pistol designs will start having a larger accessories market. There's other things for it, like I think there's a company called Apex Tactical. If you don't like the trigger pull on the M&P9, you can put in what they call an Apex Hard Sear. It kind of makes it crisper and more definable release. Again, I don't see a problem with it. Works fine. It includes 2 magazines. If I didn't say that in the original video, I think that's good. Their magazines are easy enough to obtain. Yeah, Glock still beats it in terms of overall, firepower superiority, going back to the other talking point. In other words, 33 round magazines. But again, if you can't solve the problem, most problems with that type of firepower, 15 plus, in this case, 17 plus 1, you might want to run away. How about value? Again, it's hard to define. Depends on your market, what you're doing, or where you're getting your guns. Is probably going to be on par with Glock. It's going to be definitely less than a SIG. Again, the Pro Series, it looks like the retail price has been upped a little bit, so it just depends. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And remember, don't get real bent out of shape about 50 bucks here, 50 bucks there. If it's a gun you're going to keep the rest of your life. Just find the gun you want, and if it's an M&P, M&P9, maybe the Pro Series, find the best place to get it. Remember, Gallery of Guns is an option to you if they have it in stock. Often they're out. Don't know why, but they are. And also, if you have problems with it, lifetime guarantee. Both, if you get it from GOG, actually, they give you a lifetime guarantee as well. And then Smith does as well. Durability, reliability. Okay, getting into some controversy on the M&P9. Internet is good for information, but it's also rampant for disinformation. Okay, you see that a lot here in YouTube. There's a lot of crap floating around, lies, twisting of information. It just goes on and on and on. But one of the things that was rumored about the Smith & Wesson M&P9 is that it was it had serious problems in the hands of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. My friend TMP Research went ahead and went down the rabbit hole trying to figure out what that was all about, and he found out. Turns out that they did have a bunch of bad extractors in some of the LASD guns, and there were some issues with it. There were some other things saying, they said premature barrel wear. I hope I'm getting all the facts straight. And that turned out to be a user who actually dremeled his own barrel, an officer that did that. The bottom line was Smith & Wesson was very forthcoming and very prompt in fixing the extractor issue, but in a way it was too late. It seemed like there were some political forces at work that wanted to shut the Smith & Wesson option out from the department. I don't know all the specifics of that, and it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the gun was pretty serviceable, and it was fixed. And any gun can experience problems. We've seen it from Ruger, we've seen it from SIG, we've seen it from Glock. So to condemn the design, unfair. As of 2010, LASD has authorized all 9mm versions of this gun back to duty use. So problem solved. Durability, reliability, again, on par with Glock and SIG. At least all indications point that. It hasn't been in service long enough, or long as Glock has. But there are some dudes that have been putting like 60,000 plus rounds through a single handgun, an M&P9, with very few failures, like 2 stoppages, maybe a couple minor parts breakages. That's excellent. You know, will it rise to the level of Glock where they're putting hundreds of thousand rounds through the same gun? All indications point yes. You know, it's just an excellent gun. About 275, 276 PDs are currently using the M&P series. DEA uses it. Track record is looking pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. So there you have it. Accessories, versatility, value, most of that stuff I covered in the first video. But that's my update. On par with Glock, on par with SIG. It's worth it. It's a high value, outstandingly ergonomic, accurate, and reliable semi-automatic handgun. It definitely merits your consideration, whether you are a police officer, a civilian sheepdog, a homeowner that just wants a nice gun that you can bet your life on. This is it. Smith & Wesson M&P9. Big favorite of Nutnfancy. Thanks, guys. See ya.